You've been covering this. I'm relatively new. Break this down for me. E-cigs, vaping, same or different?
Basically the same. I mean, in common parlance, when somebody says vaping, they're often talking about marijuana, but Juul is a type of a vape as well. E-cigarettes, also a type of a vape, but e-cigarettes would refer to sort of tobacco products that people are using often to quit smoking or to cut back on smoking traditional cigarettes. But, to me, vaping and e-cigs kind of like Kleenex and tissues. The same things, different way of saying the same thing.
So to be clear, the CDC was talking about mostly THC related illnesses.
That's right.
That's different. That's from the black market sometimes, per se.
The news today is, there's been hundreds of illnesses across the country, a lot in the Midwest. There's been 3 deaths now. Nobody really knows what's going on other than that these people are vaping. What the CDC is saying today is that most of these people are reporting that they're vaping THC products, and these people are in states where marijuana is not legal, which means they're acquiring black market THC products. So that's where the concern is heightened now about, people that vapes have become very, very popular in the U.S. over the last couple of years. They're available in the legal marijuana markets, but also widely available on the black market, including in New York, other places. So that's kind of the concern now, is that these people appear to be getting sick from vaping black market THC.
Okay. So the price action today was very interesting. When we got that headline, you had shares of Altria and Philip Morris rise. What does this mean for companies in which they have stakes in, IQOS and Juul, for example?
Yeah, really interesting, because Juul has been under fire here, right, because of the concerns about a lot of teens juuling and how popular it's gotten. So the reason why Altria owns about 35% of Juul, they paid $12.8 billion for that stake. The reason why Altria goes up on that news is because people are saying, oh, it looks like they're worried about THC, not about Juul. So sort of good news for Juul that the scrutiny now is going to land on black market THC as opposed to teens who are, vaping from a Juul. Philip Morris, on the other hand, they go up because they've spent billions of dollars developing IQOS, which is quote unquote heat not burn technology. That's a different way of smoking. You take like a cigarette, looks like a cigarette, put it into a device, inhale it, and it's just less harmful, or they argue less harmful than cigarettes. They've only recently got approved to sell that in the US. They have high hopes for it. They think they're going to go head on at Juul and other vaping products with the IQOS in the US sooner rather than later.
Come into my terminal here at GTV Go, because what I'm taking a look at is segment revenue. This is revenue for Altria of smokeless products. Growing, growing, growing. Now the highest has been in multiple quarters. I wonder, though, how this sort of impacts Altria's deal with Philip Morris. Can we still assume a deal is on the table?
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the rationales for putting those companies back together has a lot to do with the U.S., both Juul and IQOS. So Philip Morris spent, like I said, billions of dollars developing IQOS. Altria holds the license to market it in the U.S. So Philip Morris is saying, wow, now we're ready to go at the U.S., this massive market. Maybe we don't want to share the profits. If we buy Altria, put those companies back together, we can reap all the benefits from IQOS in the U.S. Plus, oh, by the way, Altria has a stake in Juul, which, look, Juul's under some scrutiny, but long term, the argument is that Juul is still going to be a good option to get smokers off of cigarettes. We've got to take care of this teenage problem, but that, there's still a future for Juul. So that is part of the rationale for what would be a blockbuster tobacco deal.